Alright, what's up everybody, it's Lids, and we are back for some more Pyre Community RITE NITE, which means, of course, some good old-fashioned multiplayer Pyre, featuring first and foremost none other than the members of the RITE Club Discord server, the place for all things multiplayer Pyre. And if you're interested in getting more involved in multiplayer Pyre, then that is the place to be, and you can join said Discord group by clicking on that link right there. But those of you in chat, you are not off the hook. No, because you see the red circle with the white L below chat. You click on that, you'll find all of the various requests that you can make today, including things ranging from selecting players' exiles, masteries, songs, arenas, even Titan stars are all fair game. So, without further ado, let's hop into versus mode here. We'll reset ourselves to our default settings. And we are good to go here. I will hop into Discord, but let me know if there's anyone who would like to get us started. Let's see. Okay, I'm in. Steam Friends is up. I'm ready to go. How's everybody doing today? Anyone in particular like to get us started? Hey, iRotor, how are you? Last week we had a bit of an Easter stream of sorts. We had a few matches in which we did our alternate Easter egg hunt rule set. But back to the usual today. I would expect, at least, I guess, technically speaking, we could still go back to doing that if someone were to request it, I suppose. But for the most part, one would assume we will be doing a normal set of matches. But would anyone like to hop in here to get us started? It's okay, don't be shy now. Don't be shy now. I mean, I can hop in as one of the people. iRotor can do some intro rights. All right, we have iRotor. That's a start. That's a start. Okay, let's see. iRotor. Invite sent. Do we have anyone who would like to face off against iRotor, or as I was starting to say there, if people are still finishing up their snacks or not yet tuning in, then I could hop in for a little bit and just hold people over until we get more reinforcements.
For some reason I'm controller 2. Can you put me on controller 1?
Okay, let's see. Theoretically, you are now controller 1?
Yes.
Okay, so do we have anyone else who would like to face off against iRotor, or should I hop in here? Let's see. Phaler and Anor are flipping a coin. Okay. Alright, looks like we'll get one of those two in. Just a matter of who wins this coin toss. It's Anor. Wait, what? Whoever lost the coin toss? Or, I mean, I guess... I don't know. Was it the winner who got in, or was it the loser who got in? Alright, either way, it's Anor who will be hopping in here. It was one, okay, I was gonna say, otherwise, I would have some questions to ask of you. Alright, Anor, I think I did not immediately see you on Steam, but let me double check. Anor, there you are. There's Anor. Okay. So we're pretty sure that iRotor is player 1. Hey, Nor, how are you?
Yes, I'm player 1.
Okay. Let's see, is remote play acknowledging Nor's presence? Now it is. Okay. So will it be Withdrawn and Nightwings, or either of you looking to switch it up today? What are you thinking?
I'll play Tempers.
Tempers, okay. Tempers for our rotor, nor Nightwings, or are you gonna also venture into new territory here today? Right, switching it up from green to green, a bold choice. New territory.
Hey, it's a darker blue or green.
It's a totally different color, okay? Nor sticking with Nightwings. Sticking with the Nightwings.
Surprisingly different. Or like, I put it decently into blue.
Okay. So, we have our 2 players in here now. If there is anything we'd like to see for this first match, then let us know. Otherwise, we'll just start things off. Nice, simple, straightforward. Have them take whatever they'd like.
I still maintain that switching up the Tempest colors was the best decision I ever made.
I mean, so few people play Tempers nowadays that you barely ever see it. But we'll get the chance today. In between True Nightwings and normal Nightwings, honestly? I don't know. Up to you. I mean, I will say that one of those teams is renowned for having the most stylish raiments in the downside. So, I mean, to each their own, but, you know, there may be something to be said for using one over the other. Alright. Sounds like Nor will stick with normal Nightwings for the time being, though. No worries. No, it's fine. Okay. Not seeing any requests, though. So I think maybe we just jump into this one and have you 2 take whatever you want.
Good evening, exiles. You heed the summons to the pit of Meleith. You shall take part here in a glorious tradition. Try not to let the pressure get to you. Tempers, stand ready. Nightwings, stand prepared. Now we shall get started.
Alright, so no requests here. Ironer and Nor both taking their preferred teams, and this would normally be Ironer's home arena, but of course we saw him switch teams today. No longer is he the Withdrawn, he is now playing as the Tempers. So he has missed out on his opportunity for some home field advantage here. We were talking, was it last week or was it the week before, about what we suspected the home crowd would be, the stadium capacity of each given arena. This, admittedly, was probably pretty low on the list in terms of how many fans it could seat. But it's Dalbert to lead things off for our rotor, and it is the stowaway for Nor. Of course, there's significant potential. Frogs only in this arena, perhaps. Viz Paleth in the second spot for our rotor. There is significant potential in this arena for any of a number of memes. We'll have to see if either player chooses to go in that direction, or if this is a serious, straightforward match. No funny business allowed. Big time lily pads. Huh. Never really thought of them as lily pads. Exploding Lady River, I believe that was in the last spot for a rotor. I guess they do kind of look like lily pads. At least that general shape, although, yes, they're that same general color, although it just seems like everything is tinted green here. Is the whole arena a lily pad? I kind of think of it just as more of a rock-like surface that happens to be green just because the whole place is glowing green. More an effect of the lighting than anything. But I don't know, it might be. Maybe it is. I cannot say I'm an expert when it comes to the flora of the Pinnamalith. But here we are, it's Volfred in the last spot, and this will be our first match of the day between Anor and Iroder. As we were saying before, Iroder not playing as his usual withdrawn here today. Is that a sign of him looking to mix things up in other ways as well? Well, it's Anor getting us started here with a 20 damage plunge from the stowaway. Did see Iroder take some extra starting Pyre life from Vids, and therefore Iroder still over 100 Pyre life even after that score. Volfred. Gets over to Tizo just before he goes down. Tizo, though, a little lonely at the moment. Has the safety of a sapling, as well as his portal, though. Volfred returns, shields, but goes down. Our runner scoops it back up, and plunges in with Dalbert. Dalbert's back, but it's the stowaway who's back and plunging. Into the adversary. Oh. Volfred now the one trapped. Orb inadvertently hits Nor's Pyre, bounces out, and that might have bought her just enough time to get Tizo back defensively, though he was not able to stop Dalbert from making it in. Stowaway teleports.
Wait.
Oh, yeah, that looks like possibly both of you disconnecting there. Okay, I'm gonna boot you both out and re-invite both of you, because that did not look good. Okay, it was Iroder, you were player 1, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna deliberately invite you first. As for whether remote play actually cares about that, that's maybe a different story, but hopefully that will get you guys back on the correct teams. Okay, now I'll invite Anor.
I mean, this player 1 again. This controller 1. But I know it's controller 3, maybe you switch her to controller
I think
3.
she was 3 before as well.
Okay, now you switch us around. Or Steam switches us around.
Whose controller is moving the cursor right now?
No.
Oh. Why don't we unpause for a second and just double check who is who? Well, and then we'll go back to the pause menu. I'll give you an actual countdown before we start for reals. This is just to test. Is Iroder still on the left and is Nor still on the right?
We switch places.
You did switch places? Okay. So much for trying to deliberately invite Iroder first to avoid this happening. But okay, let's try. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it does say Iroder's player 3 now. Okay, so let's go. Anor there. Anor there. Thank you. Iroder here. Okay. Theoretically, this should now be correct, but let's just do a quick another test again here. Has this fixed it?
I'm still player 2.
Oh.
Maybe.
Remote play!
Maybe, I know, maybe if you leave and then let's invite you back in.
Okay, should I boot Anor and see if that turns Iroder into player 1?
Let's try it for now before you invite her again.
Okay. That's still you, though.
No, then can you put me on controller 2?
Little known fact. The number 1 is actually the number 2, and the number 2 is actually the number 1. according to remote play.
Now I'm player 1 again. Great.
All right. Well, yeah, nope, that true story. The number 1 equals 2 and 2 equals 1 is what we've learned here today. I mean, obviously, that goes without saying. That's like kindergarten level arithmetic, but just needed to make that much clear.
If you put on controller 4, you control Isla.
Let's not talk about number 4. Yeah, no problem. Hold on. Okay.
Did you invite her?
I did. Steam. Steam. Don't do this, Steam. As if completely changing how math works wasn't enough. Add on remote play issues with invites on top of that. That sounded promising. Okay, should we still...
Let's just test.
Let's just test. We think we're okay now, but can't really say anything for certain after what we saw before. Okay, there's...
Player 1. Okay.
Looks good? Okay, I'll put us back on the pause menu, and then I'll give you a countdown. Alright, so I'll go 3, 2, 1, go, and on go I'll hit resume. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so Nor is back as player 2 and sneaking under the defender this time. I wrote her back as player 1, or is it 2, or is it 3? 2 plus 2 equals 5. The world will never be the same again. Tizo, waiting patiently for Volfred's return. Volfred down, and Tizo finds himself in a similar situation here. Brings back Volfred, and Tizo returns as well. C's chance was active there, although the throw, I think, just short. Though actually, all the Nor's exiles taken out this time. So plenty of time for Talbert. Stowaway down, gets it back. Tizo once again waits. Now for the Stowaway, who just barely avoids banishment there, but does go down. Volfred joins Tizo, but both down. Now it's just the Stowaway back defensively. She teleports and goes through the portal. Stowaway, who not quick enough on that jump. But now she's back. Well shielded on the Stowaway. Saved her from one defender, but the second came back and took her out. Delbert has to curve around that wall with the sapling and the other defender there. Was not able to do so on that occasion. Volfred eyeing that portal, but can't make it there quickly enough. And so it's Vizpulef getting the loose orb and plunging with it to drop an orb down to just 10. Now, does she have rekindling with Volfred or not? Well, the Stowaway plunges. She is now gone for this round. I wrote her may only need one more score here, depending on which masteries Nor has taken. And Nor defenseless. I wrote her throws, but it is full rekindling. So Nor very much still in this, in that case. Tizo presses forward. Stowaway now.
unscathed.
Only one defender. Dalbert now returns as well, although Vispleth probably Iroda's preferred way to prevent Anor from getting over near his pyre.
Alas for Tay.
Wolfred was thinking about that portal, but then Iroda moved in position to block it up. Stowaway, bit of an opening. Passed it back, but there was a chance there for her. She might have been able to go all the way on that occasion. Or rather, Anor thinking about that off-the-wall throw with Wolfred there, it seemed, as she was aiming in that direction. Iroda in with Dalbert again. Stowaway. Wolfred. Everyone down. Anor. Stowaway back now and teleports to the orb. Tizo back as well. But Iroda, if he's to score with Vispleth, that is all he would need here. Anor, of course, has already experienced her rekindling. So there is that risk, should a situation like that arise once again. Here is none other than Vispleth applying that pressure, but she's taken out. But Anor defenseless. Iroda has to decide if it's worth making a move with the worm, and does not end up doing so. Tizo. Stowaway back as well now.
Banishment.
Vispleth, the most dangerous of Iroda's characters right now. But eventually taken out. Oh, and nearly a triple banishment there. Does eventually get rid of all of Anor's defenders. Now, does Iroda settle? He does. For a score with Dalbert for 15. Now any of his characters could finish the job. Does not need to be Vispleth anymore. So everyone is threatening, and that will do the trick.
The tempers prevail.
Right.
GG.
Definitely has lost. I don't know. Pick last.
Thus
It definitely
end
exploded
this
a couple
night's
of times.
proceedings.
Oh, and speaking of tempers, it's not often we see Lady River on her usual team.
Until the next round.
No one ever plays
I was
tempers.
going to pick Gilman, and I thought if I'm already playing Tempers.
Exactly. So few people play tempers.
Ignarius because I didn't pick a Brazen Mana. So that was a no-go.
Alright, well, let us know, chat, if there's anything we'd like for this next one. Otherwise, we can do a match similar to one we just did, where we'll have both players take their preferred setups. We have preset song, okay. ×2, gotcha. So song is locked in. And customize off. Customize off. So randomize exiles, masteries, and talismans. Won't even get to see what those things are in advance, just gonna get thrown straight into the action. One thing we could still do here would be an arena, if there's anything that is of interest. Otherwise, we've just about everything accounted for here. Any interest in locking one of those in, or shall that remain random? Looks like it shall. So let's hop in.
The Tempers versus.
Alright, it's the Cairn, and it is Nomad, Imp, Sap for Iroda. It is 2 Crones and an Imp for Anor. Oh, and yeah, I mean, I guess Will the Scribes is the, I mean, I think of it, of course, more as the true Nightwings theme, but I suppose the regular Nightwings to a certain extent as well. In many ways, I think Surviving Exile more so as specifically the normal Nightwings. Quick throw there from my rudder, good for 7, but of course that is a song that's not in the original Versus Mode set. We had to mod that aspect in, so understandable that it's not considered the preset. Anor.
There goes
Bertrude taken out. Tizo for Iroder. Anor's Pyre momentarily there was blocked by one of those hockey pucks, but Iroder's still able to get a throw off here. That is a very speedy Bertrude. Tizo and Lendl. That is actually an interesting combination that Customize Off gave Iroder there. Oh, and Stubborn Flame. Reducing Iroder's damage by 10 if he is in the lead, taking effect there. And actually, he had additional starting Pyre lift, which must have come from a Talisman. So that should have been active on his first score as well, one would think. Tizo. Now just Volfred. Volfred taken out. Anor trying to find the orb. There it is. Tizo throws, but is intercepted. Bertrude's counter. Cut off. Tizo again. Banished. Forfeit. Retreats. Throws, gets banished. Tizo, oh, tries to seek out Volfred, but gets banished in the process.
Now then.
Iroder, especially with Lendl gone here. I mean, in general, this would be a fairly defensive team. He does eventually find an opportunity to throw it in for 15 there, which again is the maximum with Stubborn Flame, as you just saw. Nor testing to see if she had that Crone Salute. The answer on at least one of the Crones was no. Yeah, Iroder with just about as defensive of a team as you can get here. Of course, Nomads can vary. Mooncrest on... I didn't catch who that was. But yes, the Nomads can sometimes be expected to be a little more offensive. But usually, especially if they have the Legendary Talisman, much more defensive in nature. Okay, but Iroder does have... was that 25 base damage there, reduced down to 15, in which case Tizo might actually be his most offensive character here, by many accounts. But here's Anor getting on the board here with 30 damage on a Crone Plunge from Bertrude. My point being that if Iroder's to find himself without Lendl, which was the case on at least one occasion there, then that does make it difficult for him to manufacture offense without him. Forfeit. Off the wall, but into Volfred's aura. Throw from Iroder. Doesn't have the range to be all that threatening from there. Oh, but does sneak one in on that occasion. Lendl, down. Tizo banishes and brings back Lendl, who suddenly has a clear avenue to the Pyre.
A weak attempt, and yet it hit.
And has Flame Leech, apparently.
Yes.
Lendl somehow avoids banishment there. Does eventually go down as he makes his way toward the Pyre. Oh, and Iroder sneaks over the defender, and again, there it is. 25 damage base by being all the way down on the left side for Tizo, but the Stubborn Flame reducing his damage by 10, getting him down to 15. Now Iroder can finish with any of his characters, so that's not quite enough. A whopping 2 damage on that throw.
Into the adversary's flank.
Lendl down. Tizo trying to get rid of the defenders, but gets banished instead. Though he does create a relatively dangerous portal there for Anor to consider using.
Ta-ta, Lendl.
Oh, but Iroder won the orb back. It's Iroder's Tizo that has the moon crest. Okay. Iroder blocking the portal, but Anor going through it still with Tizo and plunging for 15. Tizo has prayer beads, apparently, because he just came back. Maybe not Anor's preferred character to have it, but of course it is still an extremely powerful talisman. A well shielded on Lendl, setting up the winning plunge.
Prevail. as though the
GG.
scribes themselves stood by their side. Thus end this night's
Didn't have any speed
proceedings.
masteries on this crowd. So. Probably not.
Until the stars align.
See, that happens when I pick Tempest or the Crown and of my opponent. Or fleeing me for being disloyal.
I just thought it was funny that Iroder got both Tizo and Lendl in a random team. Well, let us know, chat, if there's anything we'd like for this one. We do have another preset theme for this next one, so our song is locked in here, but we'll turn Customize back on, unless, of course, that happens, and we look to turn it back off. Alright, so that means, once again, the one thing we could do would be an arena, if that is of interest. Otherwise, just about everything is accounted for here. As soon as I said it, it was already done. There shall be no customizing. Not on a day like this. Sounds like Blade.
Templars shall confront the Night Winds.
That looks like an Orlek, possibly on both sides. It is. Crone and Sap are the other two for Iroder, including that Crone plunging right here. Iroder did have a talisman that starts off by damaging Anor's Pyre by 10. And once again, it is double Crone for Anor. But it's Orlek complementing them, and here is Orlek plunging for 25. Iroder's Orlek had the mastery for extra starting Pyre life, whereas Anor's did not, and as we were just saying, add on to that the extra 10 damage that Iroder started with. No prayer beads on Anor's Orlek, so he is gone, and, well, it's a very similar story for Iroder's Orlek, because unless he has a way to get him back from banishment, it's still going to be a very long time until he comes back. In fact, yeah, Anor's team has, I believe, what is statistically the longest possible respawn time. All right, Orlek for Iroder. It's the extra banishment time. Okay. Probably not what you would typically prefer. Luminous Idol. And check into the Brazen Manor. Yeah, she has time to do it. Does not have it, though. But yes, both players, as we just saw there, with a bunch of characters that take a very long time to come back from Rekindling, I think, or from Benjamin, I should say. I think that Manly technically is the character with the highest hope here, which is not saying much. There's Orlek, plunging for 25 for Iroder. No prayer beads on him on Iroder's side either. Orlek for Anor. Lots of room for him to maneuver as, like we were saying, very long banishment times here, so it can be very common to see teams with one or no characters back to defend, and very aggressive offensively, the setups for both of these teams. Anor drops down to just 10 here. What? Anor has the Crone Salute, apparently. I assume I was looking at Iroder when it happened, so it looked like Orlek voluntarily transformed into a Howler, which had me very confused. But I have to imagine that was Anor who initiated that. I'm not sure that has enough range on it. So it did slow down Iroder. Will it ultimately lead to a score or not, though? As that is usually what makes or breaks that Crone Salute. It does eventually set up an Orlek throw here, and so it is a one-score game for either player, unless, of course, Iroder has Rekindling on Manly, which may prove to be true here. Look at that. The one little component of the aura bouncing back off the sapling and sniping Anor's other Crone, unfortunately for her. And as we were saying before, lots of exiles to take a long time to come back. Oh, and Anor missed the throw, though. That could have been game. Here comes Iroder, though. With his crone, not quite. Anor back at full strength here. Orlek has returned, only to immediately banish himself. But everyone on Iroder's side is down, and maybe it was worth it. Barring rekindling.
Blessing keeps the pyre burning hot.
But there is 10. So Iroder holds on. 1 score game here, 10 Pyre life apiece, unless Anor has unexpected rekindling from a RITE NITE. Which she does? What? Excuse me?
Yes.
Alright then. Now it's a 1 score game. Iroder. The throw stopped. No one back to defend, and Anor takes the win.
No, not having to
A victory so narrowly achieved, and thus more glorious.
I think
The rite is
most
done.
like had at least a ring.
A little more quickness, or what was it that was standing out?
At least a ring, and some more hope.
A hope.
30 seconds.
Was it more than 30 seconds on the respawn? Or rather,
For
quicker
me,
than 30
like,
seconds?
Like, it was more than 30 seconds for me because of some mastery on the demon. It was definitely much less on Oranek. On Anor's Oranek. It's like 18 of, yeah, something like that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and because of the way the hope calculations, any calculations in Pyre for that matter, work, when you're on the lower end of the scale, 1 or 2 points makes a huge difference. So having 1 hope is 30-second respawn time for Orlek, but just getting a couple more hope, and as we apparently just saw there, can basically cut the respawn time in half, which is a pretty huge deal. That was a crazy one, though. Okay, hold
I have
on.
no idea what to think from last time is.
Grand Ceremony. Oh, what the? Grand Ceremony is a song, Lids, not an arena. Grand Ceremony. What's up, Ben Barrick? Yeah, do you mean no customize or the specific setup? What aspect of the thing from last time? Oh, pick your opponent's masteries. Okay. You might be referring to the previous RITE NITE rather than the previous match. I was like, what? Okay. Gotcha. That will, of course, require the return customize back on. Okay. So we could still do an arena here, otherwise it looks like we have most of the things locked in here, as Amberic's request would involve... I suppose people could still do talismans. And exiles, for that matter. I guess that's pretty much just a masteries request. What's up, Core? We just had a pretty crazy match with customize off and 2 unexpected sources of rekindling, 1 on each side. So what looked like it was about to be a deciding point was not actually the final score of the game, and that happened on a couple of occasions, which was pretty cool. Alright, let's get this one started then. The catch here being that Iroder will select Anor's masteries, and Anor will select Iroder's masteries.
The Tempers
You select masteries and then
shall
you pick
take
the class.
on the Night Wings.
I assume you get to pick the character first?
Who shall conduct the rites?
I think I remember it, you put in some setup, some left mastery, right mastery, and
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think we actually did it as, take whatever exile you want, but it's all left side, or you know, first on the left side, and then R1, R3, R4. Making the character last allows some countering, so is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? Are we allowing that or are we not allowing that?
Choose someone.
Do we pick characters first or establish the set of masteries first? Which is a good thing. Mind games, see? Okay. So it looks like masteries first and then character. Yeah, masteries first, then character. Okay. So yeah, that does give some flexibility there. You aren't 100% locked into playing a certain way, because you could just pick a different class to mix things up a bit. L1, L2, R1, R3 is the first setup for iRotor's initial exile. So now he can pick whatever class, whatever character he feels would be best with that combination. I'll be honest, this might be the first time I've ever seen anyone take R3 on a harp. To the point where I don't even remember what it does.
Exile.
So now iRotor selecting the set of masteries for Anor's first exile here. L1, L2, L3, R1. So everything but the last mastery on the left side. And then the first one on the right side. Nor having to choose who works. That's L4.
F4. F3, yes.
You would need that instead of this. Which you could do on a different curve if you want. Or you could go for a different class altogether. I think I can imagine at least one or two, which may not be the ideal way that most people would like to select those types of classes, but still reasonably close to it. Got excited? No worries. No worries. Oh, look at this. Anor voluntarily taking a worm. Now, that is not something you see very often. Mind games have now begun. It is now Anor selecting the set of masteries for iRotor's next exile. We'll see what Anor chooses to set him up with. Now it's iRotor playing mind games with Anor. Is this a bluff? Wait, did Anor say what those were going to be?
Full ride, alright?
Oh, full right. I was totally just scanning chat for L1, for either the letter L or R and numbers, and actual phrases just did not register. Fair enough. Fair enough. Full left. Full left. full left. Which, once upon a time, this was Anore's preferred Wolfred setup. Nowadays, feels like she varies it up a little bit more, but certainly not a bad option. Also, whoa. I mean, we were talking about this before. Seemingly no one ever plays the Tempers nowadays, but that second harp on the Tempers, that is bright orange, and I like it. That's a pretty sweet secondary color, particularly on the harps. L1, R1, L2, R2.
I mean, it's supposed to be very different, so you can distinguish, right?
I suppose so. I mean, I guess it looks...
This was pure utility design. This was, I picked out the combinations that look the most different.
Uh-huh. I mean, I guess it looks kind of, what, Dissidence-like, if anything, but even then, it feels
It's like this
brighter.
If you put up the value. Normally it's very dark because the value is so low.
Yeah, this feels more saturated on this occasion. Yeah, cool, this is second harp.
Yeah, but if I do the original colors and yet put like Headwind as the second nomad on the Nightwings, then...
Kinda, yeah, a little bit peach-like.
Because that was my original idea, but would have been too confusing.
It's almost like if you take the Chastity's two colors, the yellowish color and the pinkish color, and you mix them together, and you'd get something kind of like that. So this one was L1, L2, R1, R2.
Sure, but you don't have the uniform effect if you pick different. This is just, it's a trade-off if you pick the same class, but it's uniform if you pick different ones. I tried it with depth, with saturation and values, but it's a bit iffy, as I've seen.
Yeah, harder to distinguish them in that case, right? Dying Flame. Don't see that one picked all that often. If I wrote her
I
is...
mean, maybe I'll take a look at it at some point. That's just what I quickly came up with back then.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's of critical importance. Hey, what's up? How's it going? We are doing a match here in which the opponent is choosing the mastery setup. Okay, now you're gonna have to say what... I guess F must be R. Because there's no way to get R3 or R4 without R1.
Yeah, that one.
Blood Princess, hello to you as well.
Hello.
Clearly, F is the new R. Also, for those of you who are just tuning in, 1 is the new 2 and 2 is the new 1. Down is the new up. 2 plus 2 equals 5. Three is the correct number. 4 is too much. And 5 is right out!
Headwind.
Alright, but here we are. Again, the opponents chose the masteries. So that messed a little bit with their setups, but it is Anor getting us started here, plunging for 15 with a worm, which is, of course, a class that she has voiced on several occasions as one of, if not her least favorite to use. On the other hand, Saps, likely her favorite, as she finds herself scoring with Wolfred there. Head went down.
That was all of them.
And everyone was gone momentarily, at least until we saw, whoa, a stunning claim, in fact, from the returning Gilman, and that gave momentarily Headwind the ability to be the only one capable of moving for a brief moment, but unable to capitalize on that, and so Iroder wins the orb back and plunges here for 20 with his heart. Saxiana now gone for this round, but oh my goodness. That must have been the work of a good old-fashioned nutrition stick right there, as Wolfred blinks in from seemingly a mile away. And there's the Dying Flame I was talking about. Not a common selection for talismans, but it did work for Iroder on that occasion, giving him extra 8 damage when he is behind. Titan Tooth stunning Iroder momentarily. Honor now with Headwind over the defender and in for 20. Iroder, oh, looked like he had everything set and ready to go, but rather than charging into the Pyre, charge into the opponent, Honor wins it back, plunges in, and takes the win.
And such a well-conducted victory it was.
GG.
The rite is ended.
All right, let's head on back and let us know, chat,
Until the next rite.
if there's anything we'd like to see for the next one. Otherwise, we will reset ourselves here. First time Honor getting a winning plunge with Gilman. It's first time for everything.
I will be very surprised if that's the case.
Probably not, right? I know you're not a huge fan of playing worms, but it's probably happened at some point. Also, now you will finally see the light. Now you will finally understand Sir Gilman's true power. You're totally right. Saps are still better at being the second best characters on your team. 100%. 100%. Number 1 at being number 2. Ridge of Gold will be the arena. Let us know if there's anything beyond just the arena that we'd like for this one. Oh, not gonna lie. I saw that you requested something, didn't see what it was. I just saw that you requested accusers, and I was like, are you trying to force Iroder to change teams right now? Are you trying to force Iroder to become the accusers? I mean, that's not very nice. I mean, he's allowed to pick what team he wants to be.
I think we need one refund.
Wait, we have song. We've arena. Oh, wait,
And
what?
The Accuser song is not Glorious Tradition, I can assure you of that.
We have Accuser's song, but then we also. Oh, okay. We're just correcting yourself. What? Double song request just to make sure that you had the right one in there. No worries. No worries.
No, it's okay. We are through. It's fine. You have the right things locked in.
Okay, I think that's it then. Because the song and arena. I'm pretty sure I saw the second request. Okay, no worries. No worries. Okay, so we have the arena locked in.
Who shall conduct
The Accuser's song, but no request for characters, masteries, or talismans. Now, are they gonna take the accusers as a source of inspiration. Go for a Nomad team or a Lendl team. Well, it's Headwind first for iRotor of the power casting variety. Inor also goes with the power casting Nomad in her first spot, though in her case it is Snadra.
Sir Gilman.
Alright, but no more of a Nomad showdown. iRotor changes over into a worm. And so Inor follows suit by not taking a second Nomad either. Goes for a quick Vorfrit instead. Exploding Dalbert in the last spot is iRotor's final selection. And Inor goes for a Palmus masquerading as Volfred, by the looks of things. Here he is. Trapped in the corner, though. Just barely avoiding banishment. Down he goes now, though. Snadra, ooh, catches her toe on that cast, and suddenly it is just Volfred. Speeds toward the Pyre. Her throw is unblockable and gets it off in time, though cuts it a little bit short here. Just 18 damage. Duel of the Nomads. And Headwind wins out. His throw, intercepted. Palmus to Snadra. Back to Palmus. And we're moving everyone up into more attacking positions here. Now it's Snadra, she's the one to make the final move here, plunging for 20. Now she had the power casting talisman, not Pyre, so she is definitely gone for this round. So numbers advantage to iRotor in that sense. To the extent to which Inor is now defenseless, although does have that numbing gust, preventing iRotor from sprinting, jumping, throwing, or using any other special abilities when everyone on Inor's team is banished, and that was likely a difference maker there. Although technically, iRotor has the best character to counter that, because that worm right there, Gilman, is still pretty quick, even if he can't sprint. Oh, look at that maneuver. Sidestepping the cast. Now, potentially on a couple of occasions. From Palmus, although it is actually the Crone Vorfrit, with the finishing product here. Thrown in for 10. Once again, the Nomads trading places, trading banishments.
Now to the flame.
Dalbert speeds in for 20. Big cast from Snadra. iRotor sidesteps both times. Third time was not the charm. But eventually, Snadra does get the banishment. Only to get banished soon thereafter. Suddenly, Palmus vulnerable. Snadra not quite enough range on that cast. iRotor cornered, banished. Inor, oh, shoulder smashed, I believe there. Well played defensively from Headwind. Now has reinforcements back in the form of Gilman. Although Inor with that sapling close to iRotor's Pyre gives her what is a bit of a safe zone, although after Palmus went down, the sapling disappeared. May not need it on this occasion anymore though, as time for this Crone throw. Good for the full 30 on this occasion. Oh, and look at that, just barely avoided getting banished, hopping over the cast, although now it is up to Headwind to get the job done. Numbing Gust active, but that won't stop him.
Magnificent.
Not only 20 damage, but also 10 leech as well. Putting a rotor back up to 32 Pyre life, which is key. Because if not for that, Anor would be capable of finishing this with 1 score if it was her Crone. But now, even if it is a full damage Crone score, then Iroda would still be holding on with exactly 2 Pyre life. And Anor nearly walks that one in, but banished on the doorstep. Dalbert making his move, but taken out. No Headwind after he scored in the previous round, so Iroda needs to find a way to get the job done with just Dalbert and his worm, but Dalbert does the trick. No prayer beads on him either, though, so he's now gone. Numbers advantage Anor there. Snadra, time to throw, and does. 20 damage plus 10 leech for Anor.
End the ceremony.
And now that means 1 score, all that Anor needs. Could this be it? Not yet. Dalbert sidesteps. Sidesteps again. Opts to throw, but can't time it right. Headwind avoids banishment. Only to get banished soon thereafter. Anor thinks about making her move, but then thinks better of it. Waits for reinforcements. Here comes Vorfrit, she's quick. And she's done it.
The Night Wings prevail. They
GG.
brushed aside their adversaries without too much trouble. The ceremony is complete.
That emote is... Oh, man. I guess that's
Until the stars align.
pretty Crone-like. Alright, well, we'll reset ourselves here, but let us know, chat, if there's anything that you would like us to do or hear for the next one. And nor, you had made an extra request last time, so if you would like to reallocate one of your requests to something else of the 100-point variety, you are welcome to do so. Certain plan. But does Nor have a certain plan for what we ought to do for this next match? Glade of Lu, thematically fairly consistent. Time passes for the next. Okay, just remind me for the next one then, Amberic. Nora also says she is happy to swap out if there's anyone else in chat who would like to take her spot. Maybe after this one. If so, then prepare yourself accordingly. But is there anything else we want for this one? Okay, Runner says may also look to swap out relatively soon as well. So we may be calling upon those of you in chat to jump in here in the not-so-distant future. And Barrick volunteering, perhaps? Oh? Perhaps? Perhaps? Alright, well, let's get this one started. And we shall see. We shall see if Barrick or anyone else from chat would like to hop in. Private conversation with me, huh? Is that so now? I beg to differ.
Who shall conduct the rites?
Alright, it's a speedy Pamitha to lead things off on Iroder's side. Conspiracy, collusion, confusion. It is, of course, Volfred's theme. It is the Glade of Lu, and therefore it is only fitting that Anor lead off with Volfred with the nutrition stick on this occasion. Combustion of the highest order? What? I don't believe I'm on fire right now. And is a meta Ignarius. Quick banishing throws for him. And then quick throws on Jodariel as well, so similar story for Anor. What? So that's where all those lid coin have been funneled. Security! Security! Get him! That one! Over there! Alright, well, we will get this one started here. It is Volfred, Jodariel, Tizo on Anor's side against Delbert, Pamitha, and Ignarius on Iroder's side in what may be the last match of the day between these two, as they both expressed interest in swapping out in the relatively near future. Banishing throws on, I believe, perhaps both of these demons, and they have quick throws to boot. So look out for those, as it is Iroder getting us started with a 20 damage Pamitha plunge. No prayer beads on her, so she is now gone for this round. Anor developing a certain plan to attack Iroder's Pyre. Banishes the final defender, buying herself enough time to get off a 30 damage throw.
The Nightwing's edge closer to victory. Alas for Jodariel.
Anor hides within the safety of that sapling. Although the banishing throw is still a threat. At least until Ignarius is taken care of. Now Anor back at full strength. Volfred in attacking position. No, Iroder has won it back. Switches over into Ignarius.
The orb has hit the mark.
And he throws it in for 30.
How very fortunate for the Tempers.
Jody against Ignarius. And they banish each other. Fitting, in a way. Tizo, now with Volfred as well. Iroder guarding that portal, but Anor goes through it nonetheless. Only for Jodariel to get banished in the process. I'm sorry, but you deserve that for going all flappy harp on us. Jody jumps through and just barely avoids getting banished, enough so that it enables her to get in this 30 damage throw. Jody now has a portal to consider using and does so. But Ignarius still able to force his way through for 30 damage on that throw. And that drops Anor down to 20. Now, I don't recall as to whether she took any rekindling on Volfred, but that is a relevant question to be asking at this time, as without that, one score may be all that Iroder needs to finish the job. Anor looking at needing about 2 scores here. Here comes Jody. There's one of them.
From afar into the Pyre's flame.
And now potentially a 1-score game for either player here. Doesn't matter who it is to score, as long as they score for full damage, any character would have enough. As long as it's technically not a Dalbert throw, for Iroder would be the one thing that wouldn't quite meet the mark. Anor, biding time until Jody returns. She does come back, only to get banished. Ignarius. Taken out. Volfred, oh, look at that maneuver. Delbert. Pamitha, back to Delbert. 2 pronged attack. Looks like Pamitha is the actual threat, but she is taken care of. Anor, numbers advantage, eyeing that portal, and was nearly a golden opportunity for a quick counterattack. Once I wrote her back with Pamitha, and that would have been the winning score if not for the rekindling. Anor did have 20, and so now it is truly a 1-score match, assuming that any character is to score with all of their damage. Oh, Anor lining up the throw!
It is done.
And there it is.
The Nightwings prevail. I thought for certain they would not.
GG.
The rite is complete.
S-tier talisman confirmed. There you have it. That's 2 occasions now, in fact, today, when Anor has won with the assistance of a RITE NITE. So, say what you will,
The stars align.
it has proved very effective for her today. The results speak for themselves. Alright, let's reset ourselves here. I know both players were saying they may look to swap out soon, so let us know if anyone from chat is interested in getting in here. I know that, I think Phaler had said previously that he was potentially going to get in earlier, so we may look to get him in soon, or anyone else for that matter, if Phaler or anyone else is still interested in doing so. Okay, sounds like Phaler is... do you want to hop in right now? Looks like you could take an Aura spot if you'd like. Does that work for you? Meanwhile, in Barrack, trying to create, manufacture some alternate timeline in which some fictitious conversation took place. Okay, looks like we'll have Phaler take an Aura spot here, and then I think Iroder had said that he may want to swap out soon as well, so if there is anyone else from chat who'd like to jump in, then may be able to get you in as well. Asked for a song. Did you now? Did you now? Oh, you did. You did. You did. This is actually true. This is actually true. Now, do I remember which song you requested? Of course I remember which song you requested. I'm totally not just scrolling back up through chat right now. No, I remember. It was Time Passes. It was Time Passes. What's the... Actually, do we have that? Do we have that in? I don't think we do. And with the death of Tariq Bot the Fourth, or whatever number we were on, that may mean that we actually can't do that. Yeah, but you see, the thing is, Tariq-Bot has gone on to live with the scribes. Exactly, he's returned to the stars. I'm afraid. I'm afraid so. Apparently he has found his way home. Flutterfly instead? Okay. That one we should be able to do. That one we can do. Okay. And Phaler... You... are here. Watch out. Okay, and Iroder, are you still okay to stick around here? I know you said you might want to swap out soon, but does it still work for a little bit? Okay. Alright, let me swap.
So if you have to put in Fader's team anyway, then put me back on the withdrawn.
Oh, okay. Okay. There we are. Okay. Sermon intro back on for this one. Anything else we would like to see? We have the sermon intro, we have the song. I think that's it at the moment. Of course, this will be Phaler's first match of the night, so up to you as to whether you would like to give him a chance to warm up or if you want to throw him straight into the pyre. But perhaps today we are feeling merciful. So we'll get started.
Hark, exiles. You heed the summons
Oh,
to the Book
yes.
of Horus. At stake here in this rite is your salvation. Only the righteous shall emerge victorious. The withdrawn stand prepared. The fate stand prepared. Now let us begin.
Alright, so your team composition is up to you. Mastery, or characters, masteries, and talismans. All of your own choosing. Then again, we are on the boat. We do be on the boat. Alright, it is a nutrition stick Volfred in the first spot for Iroder. A Titan Tooth Jody in the last spot for Phaler, or first spot I should say. Now Titan Tooth on Pamitha for Iroder.
Demon.
Phaler goes Speedy Vizpaleth. Quickness Harp with +8 mastery. Oh, and Phaler. A man of culture. Breaks out the triple demons, including the Brazen Manor, leeching Ignarius on the boat, and you have to respect it. Oh, and Iroder nearly blinks his way in, but it's Phaler. We'll be testing the physics engine today. Back on the orb now with Vizpaleth. Is Iroder frozen? because he looks remarkably frozen to me.
But
Can you move, High Rotor? Yeah, there you are. Now you've disconnected. Okay. Let me get you back in.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. But you definitely disconnected. Let me get you back. Alright, let me know when you're good and I'll give you guys a countdown.
We can try.
Okay. So I'll give you a 3, 2, 1, go, and on go I'll hit resume. 3, 2, 1, go.
Now to the flame.
High Rotor with Pamitha. Taylor back into a defensive position. High Rotor switches over to his demon only to get banished.
There.
Taylor, Fizzpaleth, eyeing the puddles. Jody, Fizzpaleth, and there it is. Plunges in for 30. Right, demons the true butterflies, exactly.
Good.
Only fitting. Also the one arena where saps can jump. Pamitha blocked a Titan Tooth though, stunning everyone.
The orb is
Jody.
taken.
Oh, she was gonna get some height there, but didn't have the right trajectory. Sailor, thinking about it, but goes low this time, plunging in for 30.
Now go on, just once more.
Fizzpaleth, once more, ouch. Ignarius, oh, sets up the Brazen Manor. He's ready. Look out, here he comes! Oh, just missed the second puddle. And just missed the Pyre. Ooh, that was a flying... I'm not sure which demon it was, but one of them on Phaler's side. Blocked, though, and banished.
Now then.
And a lot of space suddenly, time and space, for Iroder to work with here.
The orb flies true.
Throwing it in for 25, but as you saw, Phaler took the extra starting Pyre life on all of his demons. So that's a lot of Pyre life to work with there. Iroder able to switch his way out of getting stunned from the Titan Tooth. Now a 3-1 numbers advantage. Oh, and blinks his way straight in. But he is now Volfredless. Phaler, a little bit of extra jumping distance on that one. Does plunge, but Iroder did have a little bit of rekindling, so he's holding on with 10. But now next score for Phaler would certainly seal the deal. Iroder trying to move in, going for the blink straight into the Pyre once again, but does get banished this time around. Phaler,
Too bad for that one.
cornered. Iroder sets up the Brazen Manor. Extra damage is set. Pamitha switches over, but Ignarius is dispossessed and banished. Phaler makes it in for the winning plunge.
I think the lags are mostly not sure.
What a crushing victory it was.
GG.
The rite is done.
All right. Let's head back.
Until the next rite.
And let us know, chat, if there's anything we'd like for the next one. And yeah, is there anyone who would like to take Iroder's spot? As we were saying, Iroder was looking to swap out in the relatively near future. Oh. Alright, well, at the very least, Anor has turned Customize off. And we'll be going for the preset masteries. Or rather, preset song, I should say. 2 times over, so we'll get both of the team's songs. That covers almost everything. Unless there is an arena we would like to go to, but I mean, obviously, after having just been to the boat, where else would you ever request? Because it doesn't get better than that.
I have to turn the summon intro off.
Oh, yes. Would you self-summon intro on? Okay. Looks like that's it. We'll have randomized Exiles, Masteries, and Talismans for this one with Customize off, and we'll get thrown straight into things without any definitive answers as to what each player's setup is. So we shall see what we end up with here.
The withdrawn shall
And now this is Iroder's home arena, and he has 2 crones as well, very fittingly, along with a harp. Harp, I think that's a savage. It is. And a cur for Phaler.
the first of many battles.
Lucky break. That looked like a canned singularity on somebody for a second there.
Made their mark upon the
Alright, Phaler, I believe we just saw it at least has 1 extra jump. Well, yes, we know he has some masteries on the left side, so by definition he must have at least a double jump. And that was the stowaway making it in there. No prayer beads on her, though.
Rookie
Once
down
again,
to the adversary.
Rookie now hopping in.
There.
Exactly. Iroder returned with withdrawn and immediately gets 2 crones. Off the wall. Off the wall. Off the wall. Oh, boo! Where's the off the wall throw? Come on! There's few better opportunities than that.
Let's start it again. Still figuring out the dice.
They overwhelmed their adversaries.
Bottom Void was on Rookie, and I think he had the Lucky Break as well, which is actually somewhat fitting. Alright.
Only
The luckiest in breaks.
I will get Iroder back, and we will turn Customize. We'll leave Customize off. Alright, invite sent.
Oh, you have to re-invite me again and crash.
Ooh. Come on, Steam. Come on, Steam.
Okay.
Alright, let's, might need to double check if Iroder is still player 1 and Phaler's player 2.
That one.
Okay, cool. Alright, so Customize off with the other preset themes, so really the only thing we would do here would be Arena. Could be the last thing that we could still change up if that is of interest. Otherwise, it's basically all locked in here. But seeing no arena request, let's get started. Oh,
The withdrawn.
okay, it's Fall of Solium.
The fate.
It is Demon, Cur, and I think that's a Savage for Iroder. And then it is double Nomad and 1 Savage for Phaler.
Praise be to the scribes.
Oh, it's an Easter egg hunt!
The orb bathes first in the fate.
Which Iroder picks up and carries in for the first score.
Flame.
Rookie. Snadra. Rookie again. He does not seem particularly fast to me. He might be primarily right side. Didn't catch if Iroder had any additional jumps with him, but that might be an all. What's that too? That might be an all right side Rookie. But that almost did not stop him from making his way through there, even if he had reduced mobility. That looks like a very quick Savage, though.
Throwing in the orb.
Pyre throwing it in for 16 with Ulmer. Iggy. Vanishes. He is the one with Fairy Spirit, and that does work well with Iggy. It has worked out well thus far. That's 2 times where he has managed to pick up his own Moondrop and use that infinite stamina to get himself into the Pyre for a 30 damage plunge. Yeah, look out for Fairy Spirit Iggy. Well timed on that Ulmer jump, although he is still taken out there. And suddenly, Irodo defenseless. Time for Lendl to throw it in for 20. Iggy. Third time be the charm, as one more round of that is technically all Irodo would need here. But it's Failure again, this time with Snadra. No prayer beads on her, so she is now gone. Iggy again, though. He has been the most dangerous of Irodo's exiles thus far and has Celestial Spike as well, so he can banish with the throws. Obviously does not have the quick throws, because... Whoa. Power jump from the most stylish man in the downside.
A mere attempt.
We know he has the Moon Crest, or rather the Fairy Spirit.
The right is near.
That was Ulmer plunging in for 20, which means not enough to finish the job, but now if Irodo blinks anywhere near the Pyre, he will win. Rookie will not be the one to do it. Irodo defenseless for now. Is Gareth quick enough? Not quite. But he is quick enough to snipe Rookie. It is Gareth again, trying to find a way around Ignarius, but cannot do so. Ignarius once again. He's banished. Rookie. Rookie for Irodo.
Banished.
Stop before he can make it in.
Flung with
And it is Failure on the counterattack with Snadra, throwing in for 20, and Failure whittling away at Irodo's lead. Now Failure just needing 2 scores
the orb.
to Irodo's 1,
Sandra
and suddenly it's a 1-score game. Does need to be full damage for Failure, whereas Irodo could get by with just a quick little throw and still get the job done. Failure makes it in to pull off the comeback.
They somehow managed to scrape by despite their adversaries' efforts.
GG.
At least the
The
lag is going on.
ceremony is complete.
From, of course, the most stylish man in the downside.
I didn't even realize it was him.
Right.
No wonder. Carried me to victory.
I mean,
Made the fall his very own catwalk.
this is exactly what he does, right? He pulls off the dramatic wins, such as that. The most stylish of plays. You know, he is one to seek out the glory. I believe we've now done our preset themes. Although, we are still allowed to do songs, but Irodo says no other requests here. My choice of song. Let me think about that. Don't think we've had a Thrash pack yet today, so I'm a little bit tempted. Likewise, I don't know if we've had a Knights of the Sea. So those are high on my list right now. But so is maybe the Herald. I feel like we never, obviously, we don't get this one for just random songs, but I feel like this never gets requested. So I think I'll go this route. Alright, and customize back on, I assume, Iroder. Based on your no request for this one, I assume that means you'll have this. Okay. So, let's jump in then.
The withdrawn shall confront the fate. Welcome. Who shall conduct the rites?
Okay, so no requests affecting your team composition, meaning you can take whatever you'd like here.
Sap.
Which, for Iroder, means a quick throwing sap Palmus with a little bit of rekindling there. Phaler goes the Ninja Almer route.
Dalbert.
Prayer beats Dalbert in the second spot for Iroder. Phaler with Fate member number 2, Raji with the Webbed Lanthorn. Matched by a Tizo with the Webbed Lanthorn on Iroder's side. And a Leeching Bertrude with the Crone Salute is Phaler's final selection.
Now begin. There.
Palmus has that quick throw. Has a lot of range on it, though not quite enough on that occasion. Going for it this time off mark, though. Almer taken out. Palmus taken out.
The fate of
And Thaler with those quick savage salutes, setting up the plunges into the pyre and throws into the pyre, like that one on that occasion. Almer banishes, gets banished. Raji taken out, and now it is Palmus on the move for Iroder. Quick throw for 21, slightly less than the maximum of 25. Almer too quick on that occasion. Gets the orb before Iroder can place the sapling, and gets the throw in as well. Same story here. Almer putting in the work. Goes the other side.
intervention.
Another 20 damage, and that is the rekindling, which means one more score, all that Phaler needs here, although Almer unsuccessful this time round, but Phaler still had that Crone Salute, so Iroder stuck with defenseless Howlers, and Phaler can walk it in for the winning score.
The fate
Some one of
prevailed.
these annoying matchup
They
dependent
vastly
times.
outperformed
Now you
their
have to learn.
adversaries. Thus end this night's proceedings.
GG. Alright, let's head on back.
Until the stars
Saps and Savages, tough matchup. Saps usually lose.
Depends on the Savage and the Sap setup and how he's playing.
True, true. Yeah, there's a big difference between the aggressive, hyper-aggressive saluting savages that don't let you have a moment's rest before they blink onto the orb and are back attacking you, and a more middle ground savage. Of course, in either case, they're typically going to be the primary, or at least one of the primary offensive characters on the team, but the speed at which they attack you can vary from one setup to the next. Anything that we'd like for this next one here? Or anyone else who'd like to get in on the action? If so, let us know. Let them cook. They're cooking. All right. In that case, that we shall.
The withdrawn shall now face the fate. Welcome. Who shall conduct?
Well. Let them cook we shall. But what will they be serving up today? Titan-Tooth Tamitha is the lead on Iroder's side. And, what was that? I've never seen that before. I don't know what that is. It's like I look there and it's just this black void of nothingness, and I don't know what it is. Pamitha in the second spot for Iroder, so that is Harp numero dos. Failure now goes for Snadra with the extra aura size from the Scribe Rock. And a third and final harp from Iroder. That's a lot of burbs. And Webbed Lanthorn Imp in that second or third spot there. That's the second of Phalar's Imps, so very imp-centric team.
The orb bathes first
And uses an Imp Throw to get us started now.
Good. Oof.
Titan Tooth, but also Shoulder Smash.
From burning flame to ash.
The withdrawn gained the upper hand.
Pamitha speeds toward the orb, gets Shoulder Smashed once again, and just enough room for Phalar to go with a very quick 5 damage throw.
Each pyre now burns
Tizo
up.
banishes one, gets the orb back and sneaks through, this time plunging for 15.
The Fate's pyre now
Tamitha.
burns relatively brighter.
Phalar wanted to banish, but the hockey puck was protecting Tamitha, and eventually she gets it back and makes it in.
The withdrawn are now favored to
And
the
once
blind.
again, Tizo just bulldozes his way through.
The withdrawn
Snadra banishes one and gets stunned, and now brought back. Pushed over past the Pyre, but banished nonetheless.
the withdrawn.
Although Phalar's the one who emerges there, with the orb, throws in the quick 360 while he's at it. Pamitha and Zoxiana, Shoulder Smash, now both of them gone. That means time for Snadra.
Pyres wane.
He throws it in for 20, and that drops Iroder down to 15, which means even the Imps now have enough damage for Phalar to finish this with 1 score. Phalar through the portal, but stopped.
Tis taken.
And a series of banishments in the middle there. Phalar, the only character left is Snadra, but she was stunned and stuck in the corner there, so not much time to do anything with Snadra on that occasion, but same cannot be said for Raji here as
All reason.
he plunges. However, Iroder breaks out the right light for the 20 rekindling from a talisman, so he's still holding on.
There. Oh.
Taylor stopped. High Rotor wins it back. Blocked. Banished. Now Failer. Throw, but intercepted. High Rotor somehow still gets it back there, even when surrounded by defenders. Under the defender that time, but not quick enough to make it in. Looking to get the orb back. And does! And suddenly, we have ourselves a one-score match. Numbers advantage to Failer, as High Rotor did plunge with one of his exiles, and here comes Snadra!
The fate prevails.
To take the win.
Although their adversaries put up quite an effort. The rite is ended.
GG. Alright, well played, you two. Let's head on back.
Until the next rite.
Alright. Anything we would like to see for this next one, or anyone else who would like to jump in, let us know. I am not sure I understand what these series of emotes are supposed to mean. I also can't even make out what some of those are that Failer just did. Is that a bat? Like, obviously there's the thundercloud, but what is the other one that Failer just did? Are those bats? Hold on, I must investigate. I don't know, they're just so tiny on my screen, I can't tell. Tornado and bat. Oh, is it a... Flappy redacted. Is it a tornado? Because there are some emojis slash emotes that, depending on, like, I don't know what, if it's the browser you're running or, like, what Windows update you have, where the exact image for the emoji will vary. So, like, on my... When I'm looking at it on my streaming software in the chat there, I just see a thundercloud with a little lightning bolt coming down. Is it actually a tornado? Because I don't see a tornado. Anyways. The other one was so small that I couldn't tell what it was. Oh, it's a reference to the new Marvel superhero, Tornado Bat, obviously. He's known for having the ability to control air pressure such that he can create tornadoes instantaneously. Then again, he's not from the main Marvel Cinematic Universe. He only exists in a small offshoot comic. So I wouldn't expect you to understand. There's only a hidden trailer that got released on Reddit that admittedly is not 100% clear if that's actually legit or if it is just a fan-made trailer, but people are speculating that that might mean that it is the next big Marvel movie.
Any requests?
Just to do Tornado Bat, but other than that, no. Polkavoris. Oh, good choice. We do now have a request for an arena, and I approve. I approve of the boat request. Okay. Anything else on top of that? Talisman request from Manor. Specifically, no Titan Tooth. Titan Tooth is disallowed for this next match. Okay. Anything else? Or will that do the trick? That seems like it may be all. So let's get started. No Titan Tooth on the boat. Hopefully.
The withdrawn shall confront
Hopefully.
the fate.
That means we'll see some big jumping plays here.
shall conduct the rites.
Or will we get Bat NATO, which I guess is sort of what we just saw Iroder take with his first pick. Failure goes Speedy Jody. That's certainly giving him potential for some very big jumps. But Iroder maybe going the Bat NATO route here.
Tizo.
Is that Titan Tooth? As a reminder, there's no Titan Tooth allowed. I only saw that out of the corner of my eye.
You can reset.
Okay. I should have reminded you. My bad. Bat NATO. Bat NATO. I mean, imps masquerading as bats, like maybe okay, but the new Marvel hero is Bat NATO.
Welcome.
Not to be confused with Batman. Totally different IP.
The rites.
Obviously, Bat NATO does not transform from a human into a bat anyway. Bat NATO is purely a character that stays in bat form indefinitely. However, some have speculated that it is actually a celestial being, and therefore, in truth, could take any physical form. No, that's just speculation.
Exile.
Yeah, I have to cook it different. Yeah,
Oh.
right.
Oh. Yeah, that is unfortunate.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, hold on. We have some hangover effects from the previous match that now we should be fine. Third time's the charm.
The withdrawn shall now face the fate.
I mean, honestly, it's not even a big deal. Like, anyone who considers themselves even remotely interested in Marvel would obviously know about these things in their sleep. It's really not saying much.
Exile.
It's only Marvel's 247th most popular character.
Jodariel.
Although, actually, the most recent poll has it at 262, but, you know, details.
Tizo. Ignatius.
Alright, well, it is double imp against double demon at the moment. Will Iroder finish the Bat NATO trifecta? He will.
Messenger Imp.
Haven't watched MCU movies since Cold War. Couldn't keep up, or Civil War. It's one of those ones where, you're right, if you miss one of them, there are so many references from one movie to the other, some subtle, some crucially important, that it can be hard to catch up. And at that point, sometimes it just feels like, I wave my white flag. But obviously, Bat NATO takes place in an alternate universe in which all of the Marvel heroes that we already know about have been defeated. So, in truth, you don't really need to know about the happenings in the other Marvel movies to understand and appreciate Bat NATO for the majestic, fantastic, wonderful movie that it is, or at least is going to be. Cold Soldier? What? No, it's Winter Soldier. Or is it Autumn Warrior? I'm telling you, Bat NATO coming to theaters near you soon.
Demon.
It is Triple Demon. It is Triple Imp on the other side. So we shall see which side emerges victorious here. Taylor, back on the orb with Jody, who makes it through, plunges for 30. Spring Samurai, of course, how could I forget? Marvel's 17th most successful movie. Is Peleth? Oh, gets the little airtime, little boost, except it only led Phaler into Iroder's aura. Oh, and Iroder has the banishing cat, or banishing throws. Iroder biding his time. Oh, that was a quick maneuver there. Iroder through the portal, applying the pressure. Phaler back with Ignarius. Blocked. Banishes the defender, though. Has it back. Blocked again. And now banished. Iroder through the portal. Gets infinite stamina in the process. And now zips forward. Retreats. Comes back. Goes around. And goes in for 25. Inky. Blocked. Blocked again. But makes it through eventually. 30 damage and also 15 leech, I believe, coming from his talisman as well. Okay, there with Jody. Jody stopped, though. Tizo through the portal. Raji, rather. And Phaler defenseless at the moment, so time, if Iroder's quick, and he is. Scoring for 25 on that throw, but as we were saying before, tons of extra starting Pyre life. After taking that mastery on all of Phaler's demons, and it certainly starts to add up. Phaler hopping around and in for the win.
The fate prevailed. It was as though the scribes themselves stood by their side.
GG.
Thus end this night's proceedings.
All right, well played, you two. Let's head on back.
Until the next rite.
All right, we will reset ourselves here, but let us know if there's anything we'd like for the next one. Request-wise, or if anyone else would like to hop in here. Not seeing any requests at the moment, though, in which case we could just have them take whatever they'd like to take for the next one. That is, of course, also an option. And so perhaps... Oh, hold on. Thrash Pack, let's do it. I still don't know if we've heard it today, which is a crime. That is a crime. So it is only just that we make sure that we hear it here. Have we heard it today? I'm pretty sure we have not. Okay, that looks like it will be everything. So let's get going.
withdrawn versus...
And it is Phaler's home arena here at the spring.
Welcome. Who shall conduct the rites?
Iroder goes Titan-Tooth Tamitha as his lead. Phaler with the Ninja Ulmer of the quick throwing variety. Speedy Viz Paleth with extra starting Pyre life for Iroder. And a Leeching Bertrude for Phaler. And we've actually seen it a lot today. Iroder going for the Rekindling on his last exile. Another Harp.
Exile.
And last but not least is Raji for Phaler. And here we go, Phaler getting us started with a quick Ninja Savage throw. Oh, and Black Magic Jump on that occasion as well, although Iroder's still able to cut off the throw. Here comes Bertrude, she stopped. And if Iroder is quick, he may have a chance here. Oh, and look at that! That is the single best instance of Harp pushing a teammate I've ever seen. Phaler follows up with another throw from Ulmer.
Now go.
Oh, no salute from Tamitha there. Suppose Iroder did not choose to take it on this occasion. Or maybe he had it on Saxiana, but not Tamitha. Oh, throw intercepted. Now Iroder on the counterattack with, well, one of his harps at least. Phaler, throw intercepted, but follows up with Ulmer. Throw, makes it in for another 20. Oh, and just barely got that throw past the defender that time. Iroder nearly in the right position. Is so this time. Saxiana, blocked, banished. Phaler. Little ring around the rosy there. It's Iroder who ends up with the orb, though. But probably not the exile he was looking to switch places with, as chances are he was looking for Viz Paleth. Here she is. Just barely avoids banishment there. But taken out now. And Phaler. Taking out many of Iroder's characters, although Iroder picks up the orb and makes it all the way through here.
The fates seem to be falling
Ulmer, throw intercepted. Tamitha.
sign of the withdrawal
Vanished.
for now.
Iroder defenseless for a little while longer here, so time for Phaler
The orb flies
to move in for not only 30 damage, but also 15 leech.
fate have
So
gained
good presence of
edge.
mind from Phaler there. And uses his Crone's Loot to turn all of Iroder's exiles into defenseless Howlers, except that is not enough. Not quite yet, as Iroder had that rekindling from his talisman. Ulmer, though, looking to finish the job here,
And it is
and does.
the fate prevail. And what
GG.
a crushing victory it was. The ceremony is complete.
All right, let's head on back. Was that a Cyrillic GG?
Until
Is that what that was? It's like those look like N's, but I'm pretty sure they actually aren't. in a way. Or I guess, you know, admittedly, I don't know what the, you know, is G even the correct letter to be using on that occasion? Probably not, because there's an alphabet and a language difference in that case. Alright, let me set ourselves back here. Yeah, and that is one of the reasons why learning the Cyrillic alphabet is not easy. There are some letters that look very similar, if not identical, and yet they do not represent the same thing. Which is very counterintuitive, at least for someone who is very inexperienced. Is it actually called Pi? That'd be cool if it was. Oh man. Alright, well, is there anything we would like for this next one? Cyrillic P is Latin, not like this is. It just messes with my head. Alright, I am not seeing any requests, I don't think. Yeah, and then there are ones that look really similar, but technically aren't exactly the same as either the Latin or, in this case, Greek letters. Okay, not seeing any requests though. So I suppose we'll just jump in and have players take whatever they'd like here.
The withdrawn shall take on the fate.
We're back at the book.
Welcome. Who shall conduct the rites?
And it is a Titan
So I
tooth.
know what this pick is intended to do. However, honor
So-
demands.
It's a Titan tooth pick in the first spot on the book.
To heart, specifically.
Thaler is perhaps somewhat well known for taking a particular setup when it comes to matches in the book. And maybe I would have anticipated that.
I have extreme lags.
Okay, no worries. There you are. I don't know, Thaler. Might be becoming a little too predictable here. Pyre goes Speedy Jody for his second pick. Failure took a cur in the first spot, and will do so with a Prayer Beads Rookie in the second spot as well. And it's Pamitha with extra starting Pyre life in the last spot for Iroder. And maybe you expected a third cur, but 'tis not the case this time. Failure finishes with Raji, the Imp, and some Titan Tooths will be stunning people. On that occasion, helping to set up Iroder's score there. Soxiana, not quite enough time to get the throw off, and now counterattack from Failure. Good for 20. Iroder did take a ton of extra starting Pyre life. Titan Tooth stuns Failure,
Not much force of will behind that thrust.
giving some more time for Iroder to get in for an 11 damage throw there. Delbert, banished. Titan Tooth now stunning Failure again.
Brilliantly
And
done.
Iroder making it through for 20 this time. I believe that was his Titan Tooth Harp. So no prayer beads. He is now down 1 exile.
There.
Jody causing some trouble, but eventually does get banished. Rookie, oh, nearly worms his way around the defense. Doing his best Gilman impression.
There goes the harp.
This time does succeed. And he is the Prayer Beads Cur, so he is back. But Failure stunned by the Titan Tooth once more. Iroder switches in to Jody, but Jody's still banished. That, once again, a stun on Failure, although able to recover just in time. Dalbert, this time it's Failure, stunning Iroder, and making it through for 20.
Into the adversary's
Rookie
splendid.
makes it through, good for 20. He's the Prayer Beads Cur, so he will come back. Failure still at full strength. This is double Titan Tooth, although Iroder able to switch out of it to avoid experiencing the stun.
Alas for Jodariel.
Rookie. Banish. Oh no!
Tis what
Blocked but not banished, recovers the orb, and makes it back in. Once again, Iroder switches out to avoid the stun, though Failure picks up the loose orb and very nearly made it in, but just short of hitting the mark. And I think Jody got switched into a stun, slowing down Iroder and giving Failure an opportunity to make his way through there. And that was once again with his Prayer Beads Cur, and so he's still at full strength here, although he's stunned and in the corner. So here comes Jody. She's blocked and dispossessed, and there is that Cur that was in the corner, once again stunned. Jody
such a display.
does make it in. Drops Failure down to 19, which means any of Iroder's exiles would have enough damage here, including his harps. Titan Tooth. That is, unless Iroder throws it quickly, although time now for Failure. He jumps in for 20. Failure would still need 2 scores, whereas Iroder likely just needs 1. Stun, oh, but off the mark on the harp push there. What could have potentially been a winning play, but Iroder has it back. Titan Tooth, stun, switches in, but still gets banished, does Jody. Dalbert, over to Rookie. Oh, Dalbert cleared out the room. Distracted the defenders, but still not quite enough for Rookie to make it happen. And there is the Harp Plunge
The withdrawn.
for Iroder to take the win.
Their pyre nearly was
I
extinguished
can
there,
bullshit
but
on
no.
that demon banishment by the car.
Now, I was surprised by that as well.
Invincibility frames, man.
What's the invincibility? I had the impression that was
Until the next rite.
Maybe it was invincibility.
One or the other. You lost the moral victory, though.
All right. Well. Yeah, otherwise it would just make no sense for a demon with 2 to 3 times the aura size to get banished when it crashes into a tiny little curve. But let us know if there's anything you'd like to see for the next one. Also, I know that you said earlier that you might have only had time to do a few matches, and now you've been in for a very long time. So if you need to switch out, let me know. we can either find someone else to take your place, or we can make something happen. Don't want to hold you hostage. I mean, happy to have you, of course, but if you are still able to stick around, that's great, but don't want you to feel obligated. Do we have anything, assuming that it is still Iroder and Phaler here, that we would like to do for the next one? You know me, I never let people escape. As soon as I have them in the clutches of Steam Remote Play, they have to actually venture through the halls of Tartarus, Asphodel, and Elysium. Sometimes even perhaps an additional temple on top of that, before they can finally make it free. Alright, not seeing any requests though at the moment, so maybe we just... That's what you say, but... we both know there is no escape. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, but we don't have... This is where we need Tariqbot back. This is why we need Tariqbot.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I totally agree. Throughout that entire conversation, I was thinking we could really use a Hades request right about now, Hades song request right now, but we can't do it. I mean, if you'd like to switch it to something else, you may, if you want to, Arbiter. You want to do a like an exile or talisman or mastery request, or a song request for the next one. Alright, it is Nutrition Stick Palmus. Now, Prayer Bead Stowaway, we were talking about this type of matchup before. Have we had any matches thus far at the Nesta Trieste, or is this our first one?
Exile.
I think it might be the first, yeah. Alright, that is second Savage, a Ninja Ulmer this time, for Phaler. Iroder, Saf, then Imp, and now Prayer Beads Dalbert. So Kerr in the last spot for him. And Imp in the last spot for Phaler.
Now then, begin.
And keep an eye out for those savage salutes. Whenever the orb is unclaimed, Phaler will likely be teleporting to it soon thereafter, although it is Iroda getting us started here.
The orb is taken.
Dalbert. He stopped short. Well shielded there from Palmas. Trying to lay siege on Phaler's Pyre and has just about done it here. But is there an end product? Perhaps not. Phaler tries to counter, but his throw is intercepted. Dalbert makes it in this time round. Good for another 20. Stowaway, blocked, vanished. Ulmer, attempt number 2, he makes it in with his throw. And Iroda nearly blinks his way straight in that time with Palmas, but just short of the target. Ulmer for Phaler. Decides where he wants to reposition, throws it there, then teleports, but throw is intercepted.
The orb in
And it's Dalbert once again. Father versus son. Dalbert and Ulmer. Here he is, Ulmer. His throw intercepted, and here is
yes.
Daddy Dalbert again. Getting the job done here once more. No time for that sap throw, though. Stowaway. Over to the other side, but stopped. Palmas. Dalbert. Palmas and Dalbert. Dalbert in, around, and banished. Huge exploding sapling from Iroda, though, takes out the entirety of Phaler's team, so he walks it in to take the win.
They overwhelmed their adversaries utterly.
GG.
Thus end this
Then
night's
I'll put in
proceedings.
Old Never to Return instead.
Old Never to Return. Okay, nice.
Until the next rite.
Okay. Old Never to Return. It shall be. So our song is all set. Iroda are also going for the arena, which will be the Ridge. Anything else we would like for this next one? Or will that be all? Looks like that might be it here. So let's hop back in.
The withdrawn shall take on the fate. Welcome. Who shall conduct the rites?
So no requests affecting your team composition. That much is entirely up to you. And we have seen a lot of harp selections from Iroda today. He sticks with Tamitha in the first spot here. And whereas on Phaler's end, we've seen a lot of Savages, and he sticks with Ulmer. Web Lanthorn Raji, second selection for Iroda. Speaking of Savages, Phaler doubles down with a Prayer Bead Stowaway.
Ignarius.
Then a Leeching Ignarius in the last spot for Iroder.
Sap.
And Titan Tooth Palmus is the final choice for Phaler.
Good.
Now begin.
Palmer intercepted. Double banishment though.
One triumvirate stand
And now everyone down on Iroder's side, so time
bathes first in the withdrawn
for Almer to throw it in for 20.
Yes.
He teleports to the orb once again and just barely gets the throw off before getting banished.
Cast
Does so again here.
far into the pyre's flame.
This time though, Iroder anticipates, intercepts, and banishes. Tamitha
Exiles shall return
taken out.
ere long.
Stowaway blocked. Stowaway banished. Now here's Iroder. Tamitha switches in to Ignarius, knocks back the defender,
My word.
plunges for 30, and also leeches 15 Pyre Life back for Iroder for net 45 point play. Tamitha back on the orb and back in.
To the scribes.
Good for 20 now.
The fate's adversaries may as
Palmer
yet prevail.
throws it off the wall. Although his cast cannot bounce off the wall, not unless he takes the legendary talisman, which he has not done. Ooh, look at that snipe. And then self-destruction that takes out the stowaway. Ignarius trying to bully his way in and does.
His ferocity.
Plunges for 30. Leeches back 15.
Like that, and we are finished here.
Throw intercepted. And now one score, all that Iroder would need unless Phaler took Rekindling on Palmus, which he may have done.
All
In
regions
fact,
of flames yet
he has
burn.
taken all of the Rekindling. So 50 on Phaler's second life bar. Palmer's attack. Cut short here, although he gets rid of the defender, wins back the orb, throws it in. And that ties us up at 50 apiece.
Burns just as true.
Tamitha switches to Ignarius, who somehow gets that Brazen Manor off. I don't know how. 40 damage, 20 leech, and an absolutely humongous net 60 point play. Raji just trying to buy some time to get Tamitha back, and was that enough? No. Almer still with time to throw it in. Almer again for Phaler, looking for another angle, but still intercepted on the throw. Raji by himself, and time for Almer once again, perhaps.
Almer threw it in.
Now then.
And that means that Iroder could certainly finish this with one score. Phaler now 2 away. But Iroder does have some leeching potential, so his Pyre Life number may still go up.
From your clutches.
Though at that point, it would be game over.
One
Oh, and banishes everyone with that implosion Iroder does.
GG.
The withdrawn prevailed.
And such a well-conducted victory it was.
GG.
The right is done.
It was a pretty brazen Ignarius play. That salute in the
Till
middle of
stars
everyone.
Align.
Somehow pulled it off, though. Well, he had the orb as well, so he was particularly vulnerable. Alright, well, let's reset ourselves. I should have gone the other direction. Yeah, I don't remember if he had the orb or not. I just remember that he was right in the middle of everyone. Is there anything that we would like to do for this next one? Not seeing anything right now. It was a last second pass. You're looking back at it now. Okay, though I'm not seeing any requests, so I think we may just head straight back in for this next one. By the looks of
repeating
things.
my offer, like, if someone wants to hop in, because I'm getting pretty tired right now.
Okay, no worries. Does anyone want to take iRotor's spot? Because iRotor has been going for a while now, and it is getting pretty late for him. Core can? Alright. In that case...
So, do you want to play this last one, Pyre, or do you want to play against core?
Your call.
Let's play one last. And then...
Okay. One more between iRotor and Phaler, and then we'll get Core in. Anything with that in mind, is there anything we want to see between iRotor and Phaler before we break up this matchup? Or have we decided we just want them to take whatever? As it seems that is the case, unless there is something that someone has been itching to see. Oh? Yeah, Core's choosing Exiles. Pick a worm. Any worm. Alright, hold on now. Nor has also... I assume this is the Brazen Manor play? She's made a clip of it? Hold on. Let me get on full screen first. It's up at 50 apiece. Tamitha switches to Ignarius, who somehow gets that Brazen Manor off. I don't know how. It's up at 50 apiece. So hold on, let's freeze it right. Don't somehow get freeze it right. Here. So has the orb surrounded by every single member on Phaler's team. So he doesn't have an aura. He's in the corner, and there are 3 defenders around him, and somehow Brazen Manors and passes it over to someone else so he gets his aura back right as Phaler was moving in and banishes that character. So that's actually the way that he stays alive.
Linked, and that's why
This pass right here then banishes one of Phaler's exiles. It banishes the Palmas play.
I think the sub linked in, and that's why he got banished. I think the aura, or if he just walked in, the aura was bigger because it was connected to the ally.
I don't know, that's a crazy one. That's a crazy one. Okay, but anyways, let's have our last match here between iRotor and Phaler. One worm, or at least one worm, Core, or precisely one worm?
The withdrawn.
At least one worm. At least one worm.
Welcome. Who shall conduct the rites? All my
Okay, well, Iroder starts with Leech on Almer. Baylor starts with Quick Throws on a Ninja Almer. Remember, you must take at least one worm. Which Iroder started to set up, but goes with Tizo on that second choice. Baylor locks in his Exploding Deluge, so now he has met the worm requirement, as has Iroder after he takes the one that he was just setting up a minute ago. And looks as if Baylor will take an Imp in his last spot. And here we are with our final matchup between Iroder and Phaler for the night. At least one worm apiece, and that is exactly the number that they both went with. Large explosion as everyone down on Iroder's side, so an uncontested 20 damage Almer throw there. And both Almers taking each other out when teleporting to the orb simultaneously. It's Iroder picking up the scraps here, with Almer no less. Hopping in for 20 damage and 10 leech. Almer now for Phaler. Banished. Now Gilman. Blocked. Though banishes everyone other than Gilman. Or rather, other than Deluge. Almer has quickly returned, though. Stunning Claim, which momentarily gave Phaler the only exile that could move, although they were on the opposite side of the arena. Not much Phaler could do with that. Gilman. Little cat and mouse game here. Eventually taken out. And Phaler did have his worm hanging out near Iroder's Pyre. But Iroder was not fooled. Gilman. Cornered. Almer for Phaler. Over to Deluge, who explodes, clearing out a little bit of extra room for Almer, who makes it past the defender and throws it in for 20. The Almers once again banish each other when they both teleport to the orb. Almer back already, though, for Phaler. He's going one side, Deluge the other, and it's Deluge with 19 damage on this unblockable worm throw. That time, Phaler does manage to get the throw, or rather get the teleportation without getting banished in the process. Follows up with the throw with Almer. Tizo, and only Tizo at the moment, for Iroder.
There goes Tizo.
Buys enough time for Almer to return. And nearly enough space for him to make it through, although not quite. Here they're once again with a two-pronged approach, and once again, it is Deluge who does the damage. Iroder now teleporting, but getting banished. And Phaler with room here for another worm throw, and dropping Iroder down to just 9 Pyre life, so any character that Phaler has now capable of scoring enough damage to finish the job here. That, of course, includes Almer. Though his throw is intercepted. Now it's Iroder. Now, Iroder does have some leech with his Almer, so it is possible that he could get out of range for Phaler to remove all of his Pyre life in one go. Here comes Phaler's Almer, and gets just enough room for the winning throw. GG.
They vastly outperformed their adversaries. The rite is ended.
Well played, you two. Let's head on back.
Until the stars align.
And as we were saying, that one was to be iRotor's last match of the night. But thanks for stopping by, iRotor. And we'll be hopefully looking to get Core in for this one. Core, if you're still good to go here. Does that still work for you?
Yes.
Still works for you? Great. And Phaler, are you good to stick around as well to do some matches against Core?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, great. Let me get Core in here. Core, which triumvirate would you like to be today?
Give me chastity.
Chastity for Core today, alright. There you are. Can I just get some confirmation that Core is player 1 and Phaler is player 2?
Same as before.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Alright, any requests for this first match between Core and Phaler, or do we give Core a bit of a chance to warm up here first? Oh. Oh. Core says, warm up? Who needs him? Voluntarily deactivates customize, so he will have a randomized team. I mean, he did it himself. He did it himself.
The chastity shall confront
Well,
the fate.
he's, perhaps
Welcome.
not going to be terribly pleased with himself
Who shall conduct the rites?
for having done so on this occasion, I would have to imagine.
Alma.
It's Ninja Ulmer. We saw there was a worm in the first spot for Core, although I didn't catch what the second exile was. Savage number 2 for Phaler. It was a demon, I believe, in the second spot for Core, but I didn't catch the third. And finally, Lanthorn Raji. It is a Savage in the last spot
Done.
for Core. Has the extra starting Pyre life on his demon, but Phaler whittling away at that already. Lady River. Taken out here.
Indeed. Who?
Here she is, but she's blocked.
The
Quick
orb
throw
sails forth
on
into
Phaler's
the flame.
counterattack.
No lord
Phaler thrown in once again with aggressive Savage plays here.
shall the fate press their
Core moves into position to intercept the throw. Core verifies that he also has the Savage Salute on his Ulmer.
The orb is
Throw intercepted. Core on the attack with his Ulmer. Blocked though. Time here for Phaler.
flung the orb into the flame.
Ulmer for Phaler. Throw intercepted. Core. Back to Ignarius. Ignarius sniped. Ulmer snipes the Pyre.
Yes. Ow.
And does so again here. Of course, can't say definitively what exactly Core has setup-wise. There's always a chance he has an unexpected right light, but barring that, one score like the all that Phaler would need here. Titan Tooth is certainly not bad, although Core would love to have known about that earlier, and Phaler goes in for the winning throw.
Their adversaries must be crying tears of shame. The right
What did you expect?
is complete.
GG. I mean, he did it to himself.
Until the next right.
Alright, I mean, yes, I was gonna say, do you want to turn it back on? Let us know, chat, if there's, oh, Phaler now returning the favor, perhaps? Or was that Core who just did it to Phaler? Okay, Let us know, chat, if there's anything that you would like to see for the next one. Perhaps we just turn customize off for both players. Okay, I was gonna say, you know, if there is interest in turning customize off, why not just at least level the playing field here? Could still do a song, could still do an arena if either of those are of interest. Though not seeing those here. Strategically times that so that Failure does not just so happen to turn customize back on the moment that I begin the raid.
The chastity.
Oh, we're back at the glade.
Face the fate.
Sap, Demon, Harp for Core, Cur, Worm, Demon for Failure. The rest of the details to be confirmed, to be determined. But is Manly at the glade, on the Chastity no less, for Core. Which is fitting. Explosive Temper must have been on Barker, because he is the only Cur here. So it's at least somewhat right side for him. But it is Core getting us started with a 20 damage plunge from his Harp, no prayer beads on Tamitha. For a second I thought a little petal falling from one of the trees was a Moondrop. Mooncrest on one of Failur's exiles. Might have been Jody, in which case that'd be not a terrible selection. Sure, not a super popular choice, but not a bad exile to put it on. But Core plunging for 30 here with his demon. And Winged Fury is what, the first mastery on the right side for Tamitha. Black Harp. You know somebody has to have it when we turn customize off. I think it was on Core's side. So I couldn't tell you who had it. That's what, double jump? And only double jump, I think, for Barker. On Failure's end. So as we were saying, yeah, and it's Mooncrest on Jody, and I mean, as I was saying, it's not bad on a demon. There are arguments to be made for using it. Ooh, and Failure does well to banish most of Core's team. However, not able to capitalize from a scoring standpoint on that opportunity. Jody does eventually make it in, though. Barker rushes down one, but then goes down. Tamitha. Iggy versus Barker. Now Lady River. And she has Stunning Claim. Oh, and well timed at that. Oh, not quite enough from Barker on the cast. Just needed slightly more range. He's now getting bullied by Ignarius. And he has Flame Leech. That's a big addition. Both demons with solid talismans, although you could make a case that the Flame Leech on Ignarius is even better than Failur's. There's the Explosive Temper we were talking about earlier on Barker. And the Winged Fury on Tamitha, making her a little bit faster now. There's the Mooncrest activating a whole lot for Failure. It is not a guarantee. It has seemingly triggered almost every time. Barker banishes one. Does have Brazen Manor, Ignarius. Which means he does have enough damage. Was that a Nutrition Stick Manly?
Excellently done this time.
I did not notice. Oh, goodness.
Thus end this night's proceedings.
I mean, technically Tailwind Crest is the most blasphemous on Manly, but I see what you're saying.
Until the stars align.
All
I
right.
think this next one will be my last.
Okay, in that case, shall we go into a liberation rite? It is starting to get pretty late here, and I'm not sure if we have anyone else looking to hop in after you two. So might we be looking to just turn this into last match overall in that case? I know usually we'd like to give a last opportunity for people to give requests, but perhaps we can make an exception here. Unless there is somebody else who wants to jump in from chat, but I don't know if that's the case. And seeing no such volunteers, does that work for you two if we just turn this into a liberation rite?
Sure thing.
Alright, let's do it then. Fall of Solium, Sermon and Turon, we'll turn the customize back on, don't worry. So we'll go Never to Return version of Player 2, meaning Phaler's Fate. And this will be our final run of the night, so no requests for this one. Both players taking their preferred teams to finish things off in style.
I bid you welcome, exiles. Welcome to the fall of Solium. At stake here in this rite is your salvation. Only the righteous shall emerge victorious. The chastity, stand ready. The fate, stand ready. Now we shall get started.
Alright, so as we were saying, this will be our final run of the night, our liberation rite. So no request for this one, both players taking their preferred teams, and Core will begin with a Speedy Bertrude as his lead. Whereas on Phaler's side, he goes Imp first, with a Web Lanthorn Raji. And here comes Core's Imp, now Web Lanthorn Messenger Imp on his end. Titan Tooth Jody is Phaler's second selection. Core settles on Leeching Ignarius, coincidentally the thing that he got on a customized off match not long ago. And Speedy Viz Paleth to finish things off for Phaler, and here we are, our final run of the night. Core on the left representing the Chastity, and Phaler on the right representing the Fate. Best of luck to you both.
Signora. Oh. Now go. Banished, one and all. By the scribes. The orb is taken. Unfortunate for the chastity. There. A blow against the adversary's pyre. The orb. Why, that was all of them. There goes the orb. Ouch. Yes. The orb has hit the mark. Ha. And there it is, at last.
And there it is.
Have proved their worth.
GG.
An outcome which left little room for doubt.
Do you know why my webcam didn't proc at the end?
Thus ends the liberation rite.
Not sure.
I am
Could have
not
been
sure.
invisibility frames, conceivably. But I died though, so
Well played, you two. That was, of course, our final run of the night, our liberation rite. So thank you, everybody, who participated in the rites today. Well, I will duck out of Discord and catch you later. Okay, and I believe they're both out of remote play. Okay, cool. So, let me just throw this screen on here. But as I was just saying, that was our final of the night, our liberation rite. So thank you everybody who participated in the rite today, and thank you everybody who gave us the request today in chat as well. This is, of course, Pyre Community Rite Night, which we are doing every Sunday, and if you're interested in getting more involved in this multiplayer Pyre stuff, then the best way to do so is by joining the Rite Club Discord server, where we are coordinating all these things, which you can join by clicking on that link right there. My name is Lids. I'm hosting these Rite Nights. My streaming schedule is Fridays is Mass Effect Andromeda the campaign, Saturdays is Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, Sundays is Pyre multiplayer, obviously, and then on YouTube, Lids Vids there as well, posting the VODs for all those streams, so if you missed anything, you can catch it there as well. Also doing some Gwent videos, the Witcher-themed card game. New expansion just came out a few days ago for that, so a bunch of new cards. Did a very extensive review of all the new cards, just like a 30-hour video to create, so that was fun, and lots of stuff to do to explore those new cards and combos and what have you. So that stuff, as well as some Thronebreaker, the Gwent campaign, all that on YouTube. But if you haven't done so yet already, of course, you can also hit the follow button to get a notification for when I go live. Also follow me on Twitter at LidsVids. I post there when I go live as well. But actually, the best place to stay up to date on all things Lids is by joining my Discord, which you can do by clicking on... Did I spell it right? I think so. That link right there. But that's going to be it for me for tonight. So thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the stream. And I'll catch you next time.